Have you ever stopped to think how strange it is to reach 50, 60, or even 70 years old and realize that many of the relationships you built are no longer there? Some ended because of life circumstances. Others, by choice. Some simply faded without anyone saying goodbye. And you perhaps found yourself wondering, is there still room for new connections? For real friendships? For sincere love? This is the reality of millions of people across the United States and around the world. Men and women who spent decades building careers, raising children, maintaining homes, and now, at this stage in life, find themselves alone. Not necessarily lonely, but truly alone. And that can be scary, because suddenly you realize you spent so much time taking care of others you forgot to take care of your own relationships. And worse, you forgot to take care of yourself. But I want to tell you something today. This phase of life isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new era. An era where you have the chance to rebuild your relationships with more wisdom, clarity, and purpose. Because relationships in maturity are different. They're not about approval, appearance, or status anymore. They're about authenticity, about real connection, about meaning. In youth, we sought validation. In midlife, we chased stability. But now in maturity, we search for something much greater, real intimacy. That's why so many couples reconnect after decades apart, why widows and widowers find love again, why old friends reappear as if time never passed. Because now, finally, we understand the value of those who truly matter. And what surprises most of all? That not all the relationships we need are out there. Many times, the most important relationship we must rebuild is the one with ourselves. How many of us have lived half our lives carrying old wounds, unmet expectations, scars that never healed? How many keep fighting a past that has already moved on? There comes a moment when the body asks for rest, the mind calls for peace, and the soul begs for forgiveness. And only then do we realize we don't need to change other people. We need to change how we relate to them and to ourselves. That includes forgiving, understanding, letting go, choosing to walk away from certain battles because, honestly, they're just not worth it anymore. Think about this. How many important conversations did you delay out of fear? How many reconciliations did you postpone out of pride? How many chances did you let slip by thinking you'd have more time? We aren't immortal. We have time, but not infinite time. And that's exactly why we should use this time with more intention, with more presence, with more love. In recent years, I've seen incredible stories. People who, at 60, decided to reconnect with siblings they hadn't spoken to in decades. Couples who chose to give love a second chance. Parents and children who, for the first time, started talking about feelings, not just obligations. These stories aren't exceptions. They're proof that it's never too late to restart, never too late to reconnect, never too late to heal. And that also applies to new relationships. Those unexpected friendships that come up during a morning walk, the prayer group at church, the online course that connects you with someone across the country, social media turning into bridges of communication. Today, more than ever, technology allows us to stay in touch with the people we care about. But it also reveals a sad truth. Many use these tools to maintain distance, not connection. So the question is, what are you doing with your time? How are you investing in the people who matter? Because when we look back, we won't remember material achievements. We'll remember the laughter, the tight hugs, the conversations that lasted until the early hours, the moments when someone was simply there for us, even without saying a word. And if you miss that, know that there's still time. I know it feels hard, especially if you've been hurt before, if you tried and it didn't work, if you felt invisible. But allow yourself to believe that your story still has blank pages, and some of them can be written together with others. Genuine friendships, healthy relationships, reconnected families, aligned hearts, and more than anything, a new kind of love. A love that doesn't need to prove anything, that doesn't depend on youth or beauty, that exists simply because two people decided to share a piece of their journey together. Maybe it's a new life partner. Maybe it's an old friend. Maybe it's yourself learning to listen with more kindness, In the end, relationships and maturity aren't about quantity, they're about quality. About knowing how to listen, about respecting differences, about accepting that nobody is perfect, including you. And maybe above all, it's about this: learning to live with less conflict and more gratitude, less expectation and more surrender, fewer masks and more heart. Because aging isn't about losing, it's about simplifying. It's about focusing on what really matters. And at the top of that list, the people, the ones who taught you, the ones who hurt you, the ones who saved you, and the ones who are yet to enter your story. So if you made it this far, reading every word, know that it's not a coincidence. You deserve love. You deserve understanding. You deserve belonging. And it doesn't matter how many years you have. What matters is how many good moments you will still live. So what will you do starting today to rebuild your relationships? To forgive? To reconnect? To love again? The answer is in your hands. And if this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Click the bell and subscribe to the channel, because together we'll continue this journey of transformation, strength, and connection. See you soon.